Okay, guys. Well, trying to make light of this with the cartoons and all, but this is not funny. Not funny at all. This is kind of a. This is what happens when the manipulation starts. You know, they give you the velocity and it comes 180 degrees from what it should be, and lo and behold, we have a surprise attack. So hang on just a second here. Let me get a couple things. I'm hearing my own voice in my head here more than normal. Let me get my speakers adjusted. It's okay when you talk to yourself. Just never catch yourself saying, huh? All right. All right, so I'm going to be on the road here tomorrow. Whether I do or whether I don't do live stream tomorrow before I take off, that'll be about 2 o'clock roughly when Red Bear hits my place, and then we're going to be jetting out, and then we'll be landing in Vegas probably about 7 p.m. We'll be hitting the room at the Luxor Hotel tomorrow. So, and I'll probably check in with you guys to see what's going on and maybe do a little something laptop. I cannot do remotes. I discovered that when I was at the birthday party in Georgia. It's just not possible. The best I can do is just basically just kind of watch charts and comment on the Discord. So sorry about that, guys. I wanted to be able to do that, but it's there's a lot of bells and whistles involved in live streaming. It's just not something you can do. If you want to put out something quality, you just got to kind of roll with it and do the best you possibly can. So I'm waiting for a few guys in. It looks like we had about a dozen or so people that wanted to kind of get my thoughts on this. And I'm sitting up anyway. Chase has 7 days off, so I normally don't broadcast this time of night, but he's up anyway, so I'm probably going to be up for a while watching this too. Plus, I got to pack and get ready to go. So I'll wait for a few people to wander in here, and I'll let some people know on the other channels on Discord, and then we'll get started here. So bear with me. All right, so let's take a look and see what the hell is going on here now. All right, so I've had a few of you guys are wondering, well, should I sell and reposition? Guys, I am never a fan of repositioning downward, and I've said this 1,000 times, but it does bear repeating to the new people that come in. Some of you people have to hear this more than once. Be happy with the position you taken, or don't take it, because you got to know that these things are going to happen once in a while. Right now you're all looking over the fence going, oh, the grass is so green over there. It is, but the cost of jumping the fence might get your pants ripped and you might end up with your ass hanging out. There's a cool metaphor, huh? So I'll tell you what, I'm in this with you guys. I mean, I'm taking my lumps right now, basically metaphorically speaking, or I'm not liking this. But here's the thing, and I said this earlier in the Discord, so now that some of you guys are wondering and have never heard me before, my name is Red Baron. I come from FibbyCharts.com and the unfairadvantage.chat. This is kind of an emergency late night treat, what we call crypto treehouse. I'm kind of bringing everybody in the Discord up. You're welcome to join us. It's free to join our Discord. You can do that at the unfairadvantage.chat, and you can kind of get involved in what we do much more over there than we do on live streams. So this is kind of a group band-aid, a group consolatory hug that I'm doing right now, because I'm going to be hitting the road for about 3-4 days till next Monday, and so I won't be actively watching the charts as much as I normally do. So this is kind of just getting a last minute opinion on what's going on. Anyway, back to my point. What bears repeating is this: be happy with your position, or don't take it. And the thing about it is, and I made this point exactly, but I will repeat it, back at the positions that we were at before all this mess got started, everybody was counting their gold on the way up. They were quite happy with the positions that they took, and I was too, so I won't throw stones. That story is yet to be, that chapter is yet to be revealed. So we're still good. I mean, nobody says this is over and done, pack up your stuff, we're all going home. It's fine. I'm not an advocate of selling out to try to get a lower position. Some people do. Works out pretty well for some people. I'm not one of them. You know, the thing is you can see what happens when I do, and I was pretty open about that. I mean, I took a big spanking doing that because I was betting up though, and then, you know, they brought in the 180 reversals on us, and here we go again. The manipulation is in. We had a good clean run with no manipulation, good fair fight for about what, 3 weeks. Now the bull crap is back again. So TA is not working again. The best I can do is show you up and down, and you take your chances. So I'm going to be kind of giving you my thoughts on a lot of things, but I want to speak specifically to one person who asked, you know, who has a large bag, stepped out, and she's betting for a much lower price. So let me lower this down here, and we'll get on to XL. Let me do this here for a second. Let's get on to Shiba here for a minute. All right, so let me go back in here and kind of recount what's exactly going on here. So I put this a long time ago. Be prepared for this to go. So we had a call from Anubis, which is our AI-powered system. And this is about a 50% call of TA. TA suggests that it could go down as low as 0.36 or 0.000036. As we all know, because we've seen this happen umpteen times, usually something will go 50% of the move. Well, there's the move. Look what happened. That wick made me right again. There it is, 50%. So we've hit 50%. So here's the difficult thing that I'm going to pose to you. It's pure speculation from this point. I'm not going to BS you guys. It's complete pure speculation. Will they do this to us again? You gotta be able to figure out the dealer and what they're going to throw at us, because what I'm suggesting to you is I'm going to ramble through a lot of things here. I'm going to try to piece this whole theory together, or this whole opinion together here by the time I get done with my sordid meanderings around. But the essence of this is I think it's done. I'm inclined to believe that I think it's done. But that being said, is if it does go lower, I don't see it going any lower than probably my original supposition right here. This one's a tough call. Now, if we hit this, we go full stroke on this TA, that would be a power wick across the market. Don't be surprised if it happens. I'm not ruling it out. I truly am not ruling it out. But if you're making any kind of all your eggs in one basket, waiting for the blessed event, you might find the train is just about ready, loaded up and ready to go. I can make a very strong case for the fact that this is the bottom, but I can also make a case for it the other way. So that's kind of it's kind of the iffy part about this. It becomes more witchcraft than technical stuff at this point in time. It's just instinct and hope, which is not an investment portfolio technique I would recommend to anyone. So I'm just being honest with you guys. So you guys are wanting to hold out and buy the bottom or buy lower. I don't like your odds. I don't like your odds. Are we having fun yet? Exactly. You know where that comes from? It comes from Zippy the Pinhead. It's a very old cartoon. All right, so we're going to revisit this several times here. I just want to basically call your attention to the fact that basically where I think we stand any form of chance. Well, let me show you this, because I am repeating a lot of what I said in the Discord already. So to come from where we currently are, we are under some good resistance here. So we're probably going to be playing in this general area. But if we come down into my hot zone here, we got to come down another 18, 19, 20% to get it done. Come down to the AI line, you got to come down 23%. That's pretty steep. Not for Shiba lately, but it is pretty steep. Now, if you want to come down from where we're at to down here all the way, now you're talking 33, 34, possibly as much as 35%. That's a taller order. Still, again, not for Shiba, though. Shiba can do that. So, again, I'm not ruling it out, but you just have to understand your odds. So, if you're finding yourself in a position where you sold out, you got a little disillusioned here, and you sold out, think, well, I'll just buy back lower because it's going to go down here. I have possibilities all the way down here. In no way, shape, or form do I think any of you are ever going to get this price. If this happens, it's going to happen so fast. It'll be a tenth of a blink if this happens. Some of you guys during some of those flash wicks that happened, they were saying, "Shit, Coinbase didn't fill my order." Ha! Shocking. So I wouldn't even hold out hope for something like this. I wouldn't even put it as part of any kind of battle plan. So the best that I think I would be doing if I was in some of you guys' situation is maybe hedging a little bit right now and leaving a little on the table for this. It's a tough call. Everybody's got to do this a little bit differently. I'm in a unique situation that kind of flipped on me again. The last live stream, I was quite confident watching XLM go up when Shiba was going down. Worked great. I thought, okay, we're going to get a nice spread. And then all of a sudden, everything started going down, and XLM went down, and Shiba went down. I'm like, well, crap. So, and basically, man plans, God laughs, and so there we go. So I've got XLM, I've got Shiba, and now I don't have an exchange. Originally, I was going to jump out of a pretty good position of XLM and just double down and take some of the loss from an earlier position on Shiba. So now I got to go back and wad that up and start all over again. As a few of you probably have to do too. So anyway, let's look at a few other charts here, and I'll come back to this. I do have some good news on this. So I will tell you that I see something in the future that I'm going to tell you. That if I get too far, if I wander down too many back alleys here with all my thought processes, just understand I'm going to show you something before I end this broadcast that will give you hope. So I'm going to end this on a good note before I get on the plane and take off. So hold on just a second. So let's take a look and see what's been going on. I've been packing and I've been kind of shooting in and out. I generally don't watch Bitcoin that much. Don't invest in it. Don't believe in it. Don't buy it. It's just an indicator to me. All right. So it right there, guys. Right where I told you, wicks inside of the vectors, right inside of the window I told you, and we're right back down here. So this is a good case of 50%. TA suggested right here, I'm telling you, it wasn't going to happen. So here we are. It hit 50%, not having it, down she came. So is that the end of it? Yeah, probably for a little while. So you're basically operating inside that window right there. If it bounces out and goes down here, then we really got it. It really truly is going to be all season. But for right now, I don't expect while I'm gone to probably see it go outside of this unless we get some doubling down of bad news. So that's the expected zone. Let's just say that for Bitcoin. Now I was looking at Ethereum, so let's look at a few different things with a few different charts, and let's see if we can draw some correlation between these. When you really back out, this is the sad part. I mean, I realize we're talking about lost opportunity and lost money and stuff like that, but you really got to understand that everything took a downturn. But look at Ethereum. I mean, does it really look like we're getting our, from an Ethereum standpoint, does it really look like we're getting our ass kicked? No. It just looks like it's at the bottom of the channel, because that's exactly what it is. It's at the bottom of the channel. So this is why I say this is just one chapter of a very long book. Later chapter is going to have us here, and later chapter is going to have us here, and the same goes for Shiba, same goes for Bitcoin, same goes for anything else that you're a favorite of. So the point I'm showing you Ethereum is this. This stuff is all kind of moving in tandem. So on some charts, it's going to suggest a possibility of a trend in a certain direction where other trends will not be so obvious, or other charts will not be so obvious. So if we're looking at ETH and we're going, okay, well this did the drop, you can see it, but really isn't that bad a deal. I mean, basically, what are we talking about here? We're under the 200 EMA, and recently we've been talking an awful lot about the 200 EMA. When we're under it, that's good, because we're going to go down and we're coming back up. So we are headed up. Ethereum is headed up. So if Ethereum's headed up, we'll just put that in our back pocket, and we'll consider that as part of our consensus moving forward. So this is why you use multiple charts, and this is why you take everything in consideration. All right, so Litecoin was just one of those breakout superstars the other day too. I'd never talk about Litecoin, but I'm just kind of morbidly curious to see what happened to it. Yeah, see, that took it down too. So here we are again. I mean, everything got taken down. So it's not all about everybody hates you because you bought Shiba, poo spit on you. It's not that. It's just everybody got a piece of this. Everybody got a piece of this. So again, it goes back to one of my earlier things that I've told you guys, and you've learned. I told you there's one master computer. If there ever was evidence for that, you're witnessing it right now. There's one master computer that sits above the one above all that determines what happens, because I promise you, this stuff didn't happen by accident. It was orchestrated from the drop, as it always is. So if that doesn't prove my point, nothing will. Now, a few things I do want to look at before we get back to Shiba, which was really kind of what we were talking about. So I just had to go look and see what happened to XDC during all this. The answer, nothing. So I'm rather interested about this. This to me is a bit of an anomaly. I'm like, okay. So this has just been getting down and down and down. I told you we're going to be getting down here, or I'm watching for it to get down here. But this big market sweep dump didn't take this down. That's rather curious, don't you think? I mean, we had a little bit of a downturn, but I mean, nothing outside of a trend. So I'm wondering what's going on here. And the thing that I'm starting to think here, I be thinking. So I was looking at this morning. I'm thinking, you know, if we keep this up for about another week or so, this is going to turn into a sleeper. And we're going to have the mother of all rises for XDC. It could happen. It could very well happen. When? I can't tell you. But, you know, if I were you, if I were me, and I was looking at this and just kind of going, you know, I want to hold out for a penny cheaper. The hell with that. The hell with that, man. I would be looking at this thing and like, right now, don't even worry about it. Because, reason this out with me. We just had a hellacious dump and this thing shrugged it off like nothing. So would you believe that maybe the powers that be think that this lemon's been squeezed enough, there's just no juice left in it? I would think so, wouldn't you, when I put it that way? So my point being is maybe this is just not to be. I mean, we had a drop down there already once. You know, I mean, if it goes lower, who cares? But I'm having a very strong gut feeling that this is going to turn into a sleeper, and we may be looking at the formation of a bottom. God help us, if we get one hiccup, I'm not going to rule that as a hiccup, although I could very easily call that a hiccup, because if you look at it, that follows our, you know, the second one here is a non-issue. But hiccups can be anywhere. They don't have to be in the middle, they don't have to be at the end or whatever, but usually you always get that hiccup. There's the hiccup, there's the flat line. We could be looking at an XDC blast off any moment now. So mark your calendars, kids, because I warned you it might happen. So I position myself very well for this. I bought in a little higher than it is right now, and I might, when I get off live stream, I might buy some more. I think I did a pretty good sales job on that. I think I sold myself, so I might buy some more. Certainly, the difference between here and here is, you know, 11%. Don't get me wrong, that's pretty big, but you know, and when it comes to dollars and cents, you can get a pretty fair amount of XDC for 9.2 cents. Very, very easy. You know, you can get enough to be some pretty life-changing money when this thing starts to hit the digits that I'm thinking it's going to hit. All right, so anyway, getting off that, I just been a little anomaly. I just wanted to point that out. So you always look for the things that are happening, and then you look for that outlier, and that is absolutely an outlier. I can't help myself. I got to look at this thing, see what happened. As much as I hate it, I just have to look. Okay, so no real big surprise here. And I was going to make a point on Ethereum that we basically got kind of an open-closing move of sorts here. This is a good example of why I say I'm somewhat bearish. I have a bearish bend to this a little bit and a bullish bend to this a little bit. All these charts kind of share this same pattern. Let me show you how TA would suggest this to work out. TA would suggest this to work out right down there, right onto that dual. And this is what makes everybody nervous. Everybody, rightly so. Because if TA is going to work that way, or if TA is going to work at all, it's going to work right down there to that dual AI line perfectly. Bang. Or at least at 50%, which is right there. Because we already have resistance, resistance, or support, support, support. So either here at 0.05133, or all the way for all the marbles at 0.04763. My inclination is, if it's going to go down, I would not bet below 50%, because it just seems to be almost more often than not. However, looking at this, we would have an opening move, and a closing move completed. So that's the second strike we got looking at the bearish prospects of the market for the next 2 or 3 days. All right, so I'll keep building on this bearish scenario, and then I'll hop back to Shiba and close this with a happy ending. Really need to look at both of these. So let's just talk about XLM first. So XLM, as I said, it was good. It was good as it was good, and then it was just bad. Everything just went to hell in a handbasket and took my brilliant trade and just ruined it. And so it dropped it right down here. So now here's kind of, I want to start making a little bit of a bottom case here, and let me show you this, because I was mentioning to somebody in Discord that this could possibly suggest that the bottom is in. So we smashed down here, and we're building some definite trend here. But look at how many times we stopped right on this AI line, here and here and here and here, 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 and all along there. There's a lot holding this thing up. And then just recently, I can go back even further. So from an XLM bottom standpoint, this might possibly be a bearish case, or I'm sorry, a bullish case. Now you have to apply this across the market because they're all pretty much been beat up. So this one's looking like it might have hit a bottom. So could that suggest the same thing? Well, we looked at Ethereum. Ethereum didn't look all that bad. So Ethereum plus XLM, building a case for maybe this might be the bottom. Digibyte, not really making much of a case at all. So can we find the same thing in XRP? Well, that's a little trickier. So XRP is kind of basically the same thing, but I still have it in my mind, speaking specifically for XRP, that we're going to see this before it's all said and done. Before the end of the year, I just have this, and I can't say now. I can't say, maybe it's the crash after Christmas, whatever. But I still can't beat the sneaky little feeling that Veronica Jane and myself and several other people in my group are all thinking buck one on XRP. So I have to kind of, the TA does match. It does match spooky well, actually, because if we go from high armpit to baseline run, and we go from current, from when I made that, from current, it does drop it right to the dual AI. So basically I'm going from the bottom of the hook. So currently right now it's trending up, but it don't have to stay that way. I mean, it can continue to go on down. I mean, technically speaking, it can do one of these and just keep on going right on down. So not good. Or it could go 50%. So don't rule it out. But we do have some support right here. We do have some more support right here. We shall see. It won't be an easy run or a fast run to the bottom. So I know I sound like I'm bullish and bearish at the same time. So this is all part of the process, guys. I'm just thinking out loud. So welcome to my mind. It's a cluttered place, but it gets the job done. Now Theta again. I would love to have been watching Theta when this all started, because as I've indicated to you, I've shown you several times that Theta always front runs the market. I would be quite interested to know if Theta was the one that actually started dumping before everything else. If anyone has that information, share it with us, because I don't know. I don't keep that open on my desktop all the time. I am a Theta holder, but I'm not. I don't obsess about it. It is what it is when I want it to be. But usually I can count on it front running the market and kind of give it an indicator what's about to happen, because it'll go and then everything else will go, broadly speaking. But it did play its part in the drop too. So again, let's look at what happened here with this. I mean, played beautifully though. I mean, you can't ask for better than this. I mean, look at that. It followed exactly the indicators and predictions that I said. If we were going to get a drop, bam, got it. Right to the bottom of the box, right back up. And it stopped, and now it's rebounded up under resistance right there. So, or on top of resistance, basically got up. So it jumped back up above it. Now it's ping-ponging off of it. So I would suggest that basically we're going to be probably working our way like that. We've got some support. We've got upper trend, so our area of opportunity and move is right there, which is regaining ground to the upside a little bit for theta. All right, might as well look at this volatile thing. Yeah, I'll take a look at loop ring. Let me open that up before I forget. Well, actually, I have to open up a different. Some of you guys that are new subscribers to Platinum Pro, still working on the coding for these lower ones. With the passing of one of my employees, Jose, it has really thrown a big ugly wrench in the middle of everything we're doing. So we'll get it. You guys that have Platinum Pro do have access to Platinum and everything down so as well. So we made that. So if you come to a chart, that does not have, look, Songbird has yet to be added anyway, but if you come to something that doesn't click over and you just click it like Funfair and it doesn't do it, just go up here to Platinum and just go to the Platinum chart so you can get the 15-minute, and it'll give you something. So I'm on it as fast as I can. When I get back from Vegas, I'm gonna buckle down and see if I can possibly take over some of the programming duties and do it myself and get it done, because I need it myself and it's driving me nuts that I don't have it. So I know how it feels. Anyway, XY. So again, looking at this, we had the drop. That's probably not that ugly of a scenario, guys. It's just not. Now, that's a very distinct change in rhythm there. We're inside of a downward channel, so really, that's kind of where we're trying to work our way out of. And then when we do, then we're dealing with this right here. So we got to get out of this, and then we'll likely end up in this right here. So basically this general area here is about where we're going to be for a little while, unless they throw something really ugly at us. I didn't want to look at Dent. Dent's always interesting when things like this happen, because it was good, and oh, it's right back down. Hang on just a second. I want to take a look at this. Is that on the? That's on the 15-minute. I want to see that on the 1 day, because that's the one I always look at for this. This thing just keeps teasing us with buying opportunities. It just keeps teasing. So again, look at this. I mean, does that really look all that detrimental? I mean, yeah, it sucks to watch that thing plummet, but this is what I'm saying. Just back out. This is a 1 day chart. Just back out and look. This is not that catastrophic of a drop. I mean, it's not like we had a market wipeout or a black swan or anything like that. This is what happens. Crypto goes up, crypto goes down. So to look at this, it's quite honestly playing within that channel. So here again is a bullish case, because if we're inside this channel, this is on the 1 day, then day by day we're still trending up. So hear what I'm saying, day by day. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna jump over to Shiba here, and I'm gonna build on that. So day by day, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the good news right now. All right, so forget the 15. Let's take a look at the 1 hour, the 6 hour, the 1 day, and the 1 week. All right, so 15's looking pretty ooky. However, if we go out to the 1 hour, different situation. So we are in green, still strong, just crossing over. So we like it, we like it, we like it. Now here's the big thing. The dragon is now starting to push green up. The band is starting to go sideways a little bit. So the bubble started to expand right here, meaning basically there's a trend that got started right here. Now it's kind of closing a little bit, but it can go back, it can open back up. So don't be too concerned about that. We are below the 200 EMA on the 1 hour. So we always like it when we're below the 200 EMA, because it gives us hope that we can go up. So I generally like this chart. I give it an 8 out of 10 for believability, as far as like something to sink your teeth into. I can't speak to the $10 H-bar end of year. Can't speak to it. Here's what I'll say about H-bar. It's going to do fine. I think it's going to be a longer hold than you're prepared to want to do. That's one of those time value of money things. As I gave a very long dissertation about that. If you're going to buy it now and hold on to it, you're going to miss opportunity after opportunity just to go, man, I was at the bottom on H bar. Yeah. Meanwhile, everybody else is running past you with their investments. It would have been smarter just to take the faster running horse, jump off the horse when she runs out of gas, and pick up H bar at the price it's selling for, at best price it's going for. You might have to pay more, yes, but again, you're swinging from the high vines to the low vines and then swinging back up. So H bar at current price, don't get me wrong, it's a good price, but how long are you going to have to hold it to get $10? A lot longer than you probably should. Think about what the multiples are. Whatever the price is right now, divide that into $10, and then take that times however long you'd have to hold it to get to $10, assuming it might be over a year, easily, over a year. Not a good rate of return. Average at best. So 6 hour, also very good. Even better so, actually. So what we're doing here is we're talking about, so in the next hour or so, the 1 hour chart says, we're looking pretty good. This one, I give this a 9 out of 10 because it looks a lot better. A lot better. It's much more optimistic. So in about 6 hours, your life's probably going to change. I'm not saying exactly 6 hours, but I'm saying within a 6 hour chart, this looks damn good. I'll show you why. So we're raising up. Our bands, our ribbons are below our MACD. You remember I talked about that a little bit. I said, when the ribbons are below, it's good when we're rising up. We are rolling out of red. Possibly one can hope that we're rolling into green here. Shallow, yes, but that's fine. We'll take it. Our green is kind of neutral. That's what loses a point from a perfect 10. But again, this is not the most important indicator. This is just kind of other information. So these two are important. This one's just kind of a tag along. It's kind of like the little brother that always ends up coming along when you don't want him to. It doesn't necessarily need to be there. It's just additional information. I get more use out of it than you probably do. It's a digital moving index is what it is. So this is a little less promising in the fact that we are above the 200 EMA, but nothing detrimental. We can go for a long, long time above the 200 EMA. Look at how long we've gone. We've been above it forever and ever and ever. A lot higher than, and this is by no means a big stretch to be that far. And again, we're on a 6 hour. So when I say to be 15%, I'm only speaking on a 15-minute chart. So look, we've been 107% away from the EMA. We can do that on these larger charts. Cannot do that on a 15-minute chart. So just want to be clear about that. So, but anyway, you can see that the dragon is rising. The green is rising. And the bubble is constricting. So, meaning the downward trend. This is probably the most telling thing that I could show you on this entire chart right here. Let's zoom in on it and show you what's up. So, the big downward move happened here. You can see the bubble was very expanded on going up. Then it hit a throat like this, choked it off, started dropping, picked up speed to the point where the bubble expanded again, and then it leveled off. We got into a choke point, back into a throat that constricted right there, bounced off the vector. And so now we're looking at the dragons rising and all the other indicators are looking up. We're starting to flare just ever so much right here, meaning we're about to start another motion. How far, how much, difficult to say. But in the 6 hour time frame, it's looking far more optimistic. So now it gets even better, or should be getting even better. So looking at the 1 day, and I know it's going to be rough to watch this stuff, but here's what I want to show you. We are at the bottom, and we can only go up. We are rolling out of red into green. We are green above right now. We are choking off a downward point right here. The dragon is a green above. It can ride for a while. So we've got some pretty good indicators here that are suggesting that we should be going up. Now, if you strip all this BS off here and you just look at it for what it is, we have a very, very good pattern here. I mean, there's nothing here that is really shocking or horrific. I mean, if we had a candle like this clear the hell down here, that would be a standout on a 1 day. But as it stands, I mean, really, when you scooch way back on a 1 day, does that big drop thing that we just had for the market even really register as much more than a blip? Looking at this, no. We've had far more aggressive moves happen to the bullish side and to the bearish side. So what we've seen just recently is not really that big a deal. Not really that big a deal. So we are trending down right now, and you can see the bubble is starting to choke that off. So what we're looking at is the stopping of the direction on the 1 day, according to the Bollinger and according to the MACD, which is going to be rolling green here pretty soon. So somewhere probably, yeah, I'll ballpark it, somewhere around about, let's call it Sunday. I always like to say Sunday is a good time to do this. You're looking at 1, 2, 3, well, four, basically 4 more days. 4 more candles will get you down to a choke point right about here. Yeah, it's very, very possible that we could see the end of the downward trend by Sunday, according to this. I'm speaking specifically about Shiba. So maybe the next couple days we're still going to see a little bit of wishy-washy indecisiveness, but I think that generally speaking, if you look at this and you just basically just make your trend, you can see I already did. So the trend is still holding well. I need to kind of redo my there we go. Gotta get all my stuff dialed in there correctly. All right. So, oh, I see what it was. This moved a little bit. There we go. The trading view moves my stuff around. Pardon me. I don't mean to be rejiggering that stuff all the time, but it does move on me for whatever reason. It doesn't help when I lock it. It still does it. But so anyway, looking at this, there's the trend. So this would indicate, looking at this would indicate that we're at the bottom of this upward trend. This is probably the most bullish thing I can show you regarding Shiba. So if you guys, oh my God, is this over now? Bear in mind, there's a lot of shit can happen inside this little candle. That's a pretty big move right there, as you can see on the 15-minute. I mean, you know, if you're working at the scale that I'm working at, that's crazy amounts of percentage. But looking at the overall, it doesn't look all that horrific. Now, lastly, looking at the 1 week, this is where it gets really, really interesting. That thing is just going up and up and up, and it's leveling off. This is looking good. So there's really nothing here that's suggesting a close coming anytime soon. Generally speaking, you know, week on week, it's climbing. So this tends to be far less accurate. This is the whole of the data that I have. So this is when it got listed and charted and stuff several weeks ago. So it's a small amount of data to work with, but nonetheless, always fun to look at that. So this hot mess, I'll tell you, it's not fun watching it, but I'm telling you, broadly speaking, getting back to this now that I've come full circle, I really don't have a great deal of faith in seeing this. Now, I closed that all up, went all the way around the park, and now I'm back. The consensus that I have here, guys, is this could be the floor if we have any more further downturn. Is Robinhood still holding out? Yeah, Robinhood is playing it very close to the vest. They're not being honest. I'll tell you that much right now. Our group has been watching them, and there's a whole lot more going on behind the scenes than's making the news. There's a lot of infighting. Some people are pissed because they should have done this. You know, what was it, 2 Thursdays ago or something like that? And I agree, they should have. But what's done is done. But they're accumulating. You know, this is wonderful for people, for big companies that are trying to accumulate Shiba for liquidity, because you got to remember, everybody's looking at Robinhood, but you got to remember there's other exchanges that are also out there that are probably not as media savvy, or probably being quiet about their intentions that they're buying too. Because I'm sorry, I don't follow the news that much. I get most of you guys do all that. But there was another exchange that just listed or was about to list Shiba. Certainly didn't affect the market all that much, but you know, they put the news out. So there are still people there's still exchanges that are still adding Shiba. So this is far from over. But whomever it is that's buying crypto Shiba is buying a considerable amount of it, and I would imagine it's probably Robinhood. Be that as it may, there's going to come a time when they're going to like, all right, we've got enough, let's do this thing. So And I know this is always darkest before the dawn. You know, uh, this cannot go on forever. Well, the coin burn thing, very good point, Ace. Very good point. Could it possibly be they're slowly but surely? Ace makes a very good. You know, the minute you said that, my intuition just went ping. Um, you might be probably more accurate than you think. I'll just play off of that. There might be the powers of me might be just slowly accumulating this stuff, and it might all just go to a dump. Might be. I mean, it's just a pure guess, but that would probably be maybe a 10% likelihood. I believe it's probably exchanges or something like that, more for practical purposes. But wouldn't it be interesting? Wouldn't it be interesting? Because if anybody checks those wallets and see how much that is, they burned all that. Oh, this story could change real quick. The next chapter of this story could change real quick with the amount of money, amount of coins that are being collected. So, but my bet would most likely be Robin Hood or something like that. But interesting to contemplate nonetheless. So, anyway, as far as I'm concerned here, guys, you know, unless they want to throw one more at us just to take this thing out of form, we are still broadly speaking inside of a trend that looks to be about done. Again, we have to kind of remember that there is minor resistance right there, far more right here. So we've already gotten 1, 2, 3, 4 hits on this. So if it comes down, you know, it's definitely gonna have to test that one more time, and then, you know, basically do whatever and then go down if that's going to be how it is. But wouldn't rule out the idea that it might possibly try one more time before going up. But my sentiment, looking at the other charts, looking at backing off this thing, is I think we might have just seen the end of the bottom. Unless, always have to say unless, they decide that they want to just have so many people thinking that and hit them again one more time. So Doge, well, that one got ugly, didn't it? Normally, normally I won't do a channel that wide, but what I'm seeing here with this again, we have a very distinct something there. I'm trying to make sense of what I'm looking at here. I mean, you can broadly consider that all basically one downward move, which will be followed by an upward move. Yeah, we definitely had like a break like that. I would probably say that, you know, we're not going to go much lower with that before the thing busts up. So again, I'm just thinking out loud here, so pardon my muttering here. This one might be close to the bottom too. Might be close to the bottom. We've got a lot of support, right there, mucho support, and right there, even more so, and we are above that as well. So this might be ready to do something. Now, Doge, I'll warn you on Doge. I'm you know, Crypto Rich is not doing Doge anymore. I'm not messing with Doge. We're just over it, as I've said many times. eventually we're going to find the love for it again, and that's when that damn rocket and all that nonsense is going to go on. That's not till next year, so there's going to come a time when you're going to think, oh man, I had a chance to buy Doge. Well, you did, but it wouldn't have made any sense if you took it anyway. But again, I do want to call your attention to something that always comes up every time I say this and say this and say this. What have I told you endlessly about 25-cent Doge? Anytime you see 25-cent Doge, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it, because I'm telling you, I know, as sure as I'm sitting here, that this thing's going to see a buck 25 sooner than you think. So that's 5x. So if I'll just say it this way: if Doge is your jam, and you want to buy this thing, it could go down a little bit. But I mean, this chapter is almost over for this whole little thing that happened here just recently in the last 48 hours. So you're close enough to call this a 25-cent Doge. Yeah, good enough. But you're not going to get hurt in the medium term holding this. So I'm perfectly fine with you guys buying this at this price if this is your thing and you want to do it. So I always have to have discussions of Doge, and then I always have to kind of teeter-totter that off with the alternate option, which is always, in my mind, a lot stronger option. 34 cents, a little more pricey, but it's had a little bit of a beat down. So where are we going with this? Well, we very clearly have bottomed on that, and now we're thinking about it. We're trying, but we're certainly not penetrating. So what's up? Well, this is the formation that really makes everybody nervous, because it makes me nervous, because what it should be and what it will be, I believe, are going to be two entirely different things. Looking at this, it just screams down. I can even show you right there to the dual AI line. That's the part that really freaks me out the most, because I'm seeing this chart after chart after chart. If I have to get it all the way from top to bottom. Yeah. See, it's not a okay. So I'm going to show you something here, and I'm going to try to do my best to explain this. And probably 99% of the time, this serves me well. All right, so you guys have seen me do this about 1 trillion times now. So I get the TA. Usually I try to pick up at the armpit somewhere, or if there's an AI, I try to pick up at the AI, and I drop it to the bottom of wherever the formation is, preferably to another matching AI. So I go between the AI. So I get a velocity. I really like this one because there's a dual AI. There's a very distinct and complete bottom. Now, what you do with that is you put it, basically at the end, or you find your armpit, which technically speaking should be right there. All right, so let's concede that this is possible. This could drop this far. We might be in the midst of it right now. So this is a distinct possibility. We'll just call it 31.31 is what's possible. But if we take that and we just for giggles to see, okay, what they're screwing with us, where could we go the opposite direction? So forget the fact the arrow's pointing down. But so I always like to kind of look the other direction, and it's rather interesting because we are below the 200 EMA. And here's the thing that I'm noticing immediately. Look where that lines up. All that resistance. So if this thing shot up, again, we are below 200 EMA. If this thing shot up, it will most certainly stop right there, because it's got all the resistance. But interestingly enough as well, if we draw a line right through the middle, look, it intersects with the 200 EMA. It also hits first resistance right there. So what you've got is a sucker bet to the upside right there. Should be. In a fair and just world, that's a sure thing. So just want to make you aware of that. Percentage wise, nothing real, super duper. We're looking at about 6 3/4, 6 8%. Let me suggest something to you, for you guys who are just bored out of your mind and just gotta put a W in the column there to feel good. I wouldn't be opposed to suggesting somebody take a position at 34.1 on Theta, on T-Fuel, to just try and grab this 6%, this 6.5% at scale. I'm not talking to you $500 people. I'm not talking to you 5,000 people. I'm talking to 10,000 and up. If you want to spend 10,000 on T-Fuel just to take a what the hell run at this and possibly scalp a little bit of money, I don't see this going full boat yet in one thing, but I do see this to be a pretty achievable move. Um, if it went full stroke, then you're doing pretty good. You're doing you're doing 12%. That's not too shabby on 10,000 bucks. However, here's what I'm going to say: is this if I'm wrong, and they decide to actually take it down, and it goes way down, just ride the ride, because you know damn well T-Fuel is not going to stay down for very long. So this is one of those be happy. If this is what got me into the move, or in the position I'm at right now with Shiba. I took this exact bet. Sometimes it works brilliantly, but you have to concede. What's the worst that can happen? Can you live with it? Well, I'm bitching. Don't get me wrong. Oh, I'm bitching. I'm bitching the entire time, but I'm not bleeding. Because again, I know how the story ends, so I'm going to just ride the ride. So again, back to Theta Fuel. If you want to try, or if you want to go above 10,000, whatever amount of money you want to do, there's a reasonably good chance that you could make some short-term money with this, if in fact we are at the bottom of all this thing that just happened. And I've shown you some pretty good reasons why I think we are at the bottom of that. So you got, your odds are probably 75% that T-Fuel will take a boost, and you'll make yourself 6 and 7/5 or 12%, something like that, in the short term. Which wouldn't be a bad thing, and it'll happen fast. It will happen fast. T-Fuel always moves fast. And I might do the same thing myself, because it would definitely improve my lot in life a little bit, I think. So from a short term messing around just trying to make a little bit of money, this is probably not a stupid move to make, because you'll always come out a winner. All you gotta do is just wait it out. It won't take long. Story changes very, very quick for T-Fuel. So, need to talk about this bad boy. So, oh man. This is just a dirty, rotten case of just going 100% opposite of what it should do. Let me show you, let me show you what I suspect is going on here. I'm just playing with ideas, but I'm pretty sure I'm right about it. So that was the velocity right there. So remember I told you that sometimes you get a move and a closing move. There might have been an opening move and a closing move outside of that. But I have a feeling I'm about ready to show you one here, or close to it. So there was your opening move, there was your closing move. But we had something bigger that was demanding resolution. So remember I told you that it doesn't always have to be a straight down. It can be a slow bleed. I have a sneaky suspicion. Yeah, I have a sneaky suspicion. Close, yep, bang, there it is. From that point to that point, there's your opening move. They slid one in on us, guys. And I want to really teach you something here. I always try to make every one of these live streams a little bit of a teaching moment. Look at this and tell me, what does this say to you? Does this look organic at all? Hang on just a second. Does that look at all organic to you? Bot. Every damn bit of it. Bot. Let go of it. People run it up. Bot. So what I'm saying to you is this. Can you believe that that was an opening move if that is bot? Because as I told you multiple times, they knew they wanted it here, they knew they wanted it here, and no one was gonna fight it, and they were gonna just march that thing right down to the next line. So this is a good example of some of these concepts being played out that I told you about, how they want it to be here, they want it to be here, then they want it to be there, and you're seeing it. That is 100% bot driven. So that is an opening move, a very rare sliding diagonal opening move. But make no mistake about it, you just saw that is an opening move, because the closing move just happened right here. That's what demanded that wick. That's why that wick. And you could never really honestly look at this unless you spotted that. I wasn't watching. I was calling something, but I'll tell you, it could have just as easily gone this direction. And look at this. It would hit right at the dual AI. So it's fascinating to see how these things work together. But when they want it down, she's going to go, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. But you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, they had to have that wick to close this out. That's the OCD with computers I was talking about. It just the people couldn't get it down there low enough to go, yeah, we'll just give it a little bit more, just to close it out. And that's exactly what they did. So that being said, is a case towards the bullish, because they just had to make that, get that last little check in the box. We might be seeing an upward run now from this point thing, because they've achieved what they wanted to achieve by this opening and closing move on this particular coin. But again, this whole thing is happening market wide. So again, this is just one piece of the story across the whole market that you're seeing. So you have to kind of take all these things as indicators across the market. Now, I will say this also: should you be owning Sushi? Let's really crunch this down here and just generally look at this. I mean, it's looking really nice, guys. Really nice. Yeah, I can see where we could get. And I'm just sketching things here, but I can see where we're at on up to kind of completing that. I mean, you're looking at 20, 25. Well, hell, let's just say it. So if you're looking at, let me go back and redraw that. If you're looking at, if you're looking at this being, one of these deals, the next move is going to go to here. So you're basically looking at eventually achieving a hit on that dual AI, and that's going to be a move from there to there of 22 to 23%, and that's completely believable with Sushi. So here's another one. If you guys want to kind of roll the dice, grab something that's going to give you a pretty decent return, and make no mistake about it, Sushi is not tame. When it moves, look at this. I mean, these vile. I mean, it's just violent. Wick. This thing doesn't think about it. It just runs at it full force. So to get from here to here, yeah, fairly quick. I mean, that happened in a matter of half a day. So this will too, likely, or a day and a half. This would be a pretty reliable, pretty strong place to put your money. $11, a little more expensive coin than we'd like to normally jump into, but if you're safe, the higher. Here's one of the things I don't ever talk about is higher coins give you a little bit more market stability. We don't talk near as much about that as we probably should, but higher, more expensive coins kind of give you. It's almost like premium insurance sort of thing. When you buy a more expensive car, all cars will get you where you want to go. If you spend a little extra money, you get a nice car, you can trust it to be there for you when you need it to be. And I'm not suggesting Sushi is a reliable Mercedes or anything, but it's a Buick. It's a Buick. Decent car. So there's another one for you to kind of gamble on if you want to take a shot. It's raining bots. Choppy chop. See it? They put it there because they wanted it there. That is completely bot driven all the way through that. That right there. That's all bots, 100%. So look at. It's interesting. So they basically did this. They did this, then they let go of it, and then people did this, and then they grabbed it, and they ran it up. They let the people play with it a little bit, and then they dumped on them. And they've been kind of walking this down. They're basically reloading for another shot at you. Good, bad, or indifferent. I told you this was coming, but look exactly where we ended up at. We dropped right on top of support, right on top of the dual AI, right at 50% of the TA arrow. So working exactly like it should, exactly like I said it would. We're going to be back down on top of this yellow, just like I told you. And when we get down onto this yellow, likely into the yellow, then buy it again. Buy it again, because it'll happen. It'll happen just like it always does. Now, will we get this kind of run? You know, you don't generally get these outrageous runs. You have to kind of go back and look and see. It's been a while since we've. Boy, I tell you, if that was ever primed, I mean, I hope some of you guys got in on this. I mean, I preached and preached about this for so long, and I told you it's hard to get hold of, but it's fun to say these things and then see examples of them come to pass. You know, and one of the things that I said to you is that people that dig on these harder to get coins are rewarded all the more better. And here we are. Here's a sleeper that woke up running, and it paid out better than anything we've seen recently. And it's also harder to get. So these concepts that I'm pitching at you, I hope you're catching them, because I mean, I'm not just talking because it sounds good. There's real wisdom in what I'm saying. So, you know, what I was trying to do is I was trying to go back and kind of look for, say, you know, that something like this next time would be very believable. You know, are you going to spit it at 78%? So, look at it. Look at the drops. Look at the wicks. It's ridiculous. I mean, when this thing runs, man, it don't kid around. I mean, these types of runs are very, very possible. So anyway, to get back to the next play, I'm not going to be surprised that the next run that we get bouncing off of this will probably take us to right about here, and I think I indicated that before. So let me. This will be stretched over a longer period of time, so I'm not suggesting this is going to happen like immediately, but we might get into something kind of like the dent scenario, where it kind of does one of those, like a 3-wave. So I would predict and highly expect the next move to go to right there, and then the one subsequent to that to go to right there. So you got a chance to make. Let's make the assumption we're down at the let's buy in the yellow box for shits and grins. So you got your chance to make probably 50% on your money on Populous. I don't think you need to do it the minute it gets into the yellow, because it's gotta settle, and we'll see what the market does. But I have no doubt that we'll touch off in the yellow. So. Pablo, I'm the settlement thing and all, as far as what I hear. You know, I don't know. Has anybody been posting Jeremy lately? I haven't seen an awful lot of stuff being posted from Jeremy, but I've been kind of hearing that it's been kind of pushed off. Any reality's been pushed off into next year. To me, that doesn't seem accurate. I know a lot of people have their hopes and dreams that any minute now they could announce a settlement. We've looked at it. We know they have, or we think that they have an agreement on the table. I think we're closer. I think they're closer than the general docket would indicate. That's just my feeling. So that could very well be part of the pre-Christmas bliss blow up that we're looking at. So we haven't spent any time with Bancor. It used to be my favorite swing coin. I want to go back. I might add this thing back, because I've been seeing this thing out of the corner of my eye, and I haven't been paying very much attention, never going to the silver chart, so we'll see if it's in here or not. No, it's not in silver. I might have taken it out. Has anyone seen Orchid in anything? That might be in the gold. There you are. So this little pig, I'll tell you what, this used to be my favorite little swing coin. I haven't checked in on it for a while. It's not in Platinum or Platinum Pro, and I might add it back. Well, hell, man. Okay, well, isn't this interesting? The whole market's going to hell in a handbasket, and this shit coin's doing just fine, thank you. What does that tell you? I just had a hunch. I was just playing. I was not expecting this. Haven't looked at this thing for probably 6 months. I just had a hunch. I better look at this. This is encouraging, guys. And by the way, that's as bot driven as it gets. Just bot driven. Just boom, boom, boom. They are pumping this for a reason. Pumping it for a reason. This used to be my favorite little swing shit coin. I used to just make crazy amounts of money. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, that if you're expecting this thing to stop being bot driven for a while, it's double tested, it's pierced past its all-time high. I would not be surprised to see this thing get up to about 82 cents. We've got, let's see what we got. We have dual AIs at, let's play the most recent one. Dual AIs at 0.8223. So from where we currently are, if we go for another leg, you're looking at a return of 15%. Pretty respectable. Be careful with this one because this is a shitcoin. This is the poster child for shitcoins. This thing is a worthless, useless, pointless coin as far as I'm concerned. It just doesn't feel a wide enough need to justify the money. I've been pissing around with this thing since it was 13 cents. You know, here we are at 71. That to me in and of itself is rather incredible. But you know, a flooding toilet raises all turds. You know, to kind of put it in another way. You know, it is what it is. So if you want to play this thing, you know, be careful. Just don't do it. You guys with smaller money, this would be probably a play. You could probably just don't go heavy on it, because it's kind of it's a risky coin. At any moment, it can turn and bite you. Sorry, I'm making myself laugh. I just kind of made that up on my own. So there's your opening, and kind of a nice try, but there's your closing right there. So Cardano, well, I nailed that. So told you this was going to drop, and that's what she had in. That's what she did. All right, so I don't see yay or nay on this, to be honest. I don't see anything that they're just going to be more sideways on this. Too volatile to be a sleeper. If some of you guys are obsessed with this thing, and this is never going to be a crazy, God, I'm glad I bought it at the bottom coin. If you own it from way back when and you're still holding it, then yes. But if you're just coming to the game now, for example, when it was listed on Coinbase, it listed at $1 and went immediately to like 73 cents. It just kept diving until it hit 73. If you bought in, you know, at $1 at the Coinbase launch and stuff, you're really not seeing that much glory at $2.11 all the way up to 237 and like whatever. It wasn't, you know, it's not that great yet. I mean, it had some tests high, whatever, but this thing's got another year before it really hits a hard stride. So this is again one of those coins where you need a faster pony and then you throw it into what makes sense. That's still got a lot of upside. Hopefully this still has a lot of upside. When the big faster pony finally crosses the finish line, this might be one to consider. But right now, I don't know that I would own this with the hopes that this thing is gonna, you know, change my fortunes, because, you know, it has its good days and it has its bad days, you know. Yeah, I'll take a look at H bar here. So I already told you my thoughts on this. I believe that this could be kind of a, you know, you pick your entry, and if you just look at this as a thing to put money into and a thing to take money out of, and don't get obsessed with the project, I think you'll be fine. But don't get married to it and, you know, hang around it for long, because this is a retail-based coin, and retail sucks. So don't get enamored with this thing. So H-bar, what he's asking me is, do we have a sleeper here? Classically, you do, but there's your hiccup. But I don't think so, and this is just my gut feeling. I'm overriding my theory here. So this is a very, very classic sleeper, but it's all it's ever been. Look at it. It's all it's ever been. Other than that. It just keeps going sideways. And the reason it keeps going sideways is it's just not its turn yet. Google is a major backer of this thing, and Google does not move fast on projects. So it's not its turn. Now, I can't tell you because I don't dig deep enough on this, but in the short term that I've been looking at it, I mean, you got to be prepared to sit on this thing for probably another year and a half before you start to really be proud of what you got. So there's still time. here's what I want to say specifically to that. Yeah, everything's going to rise a little bit, in the next coming couple of weeks or so. H bar is not going to be that super sprinter. It's just not. So, everything will sprint and everything will drop back. Let's assume we go into the backside of Christmas into the New Year's. Everything drops back down. What's that do to H bar? Well, it'll drop down too. So you're out before Christmas. You hold your money through Christmas. You wait for that drop, and that drop happens. Then you just start bending over and picking up stuff that you like. This might make sense then at that point in time. And don't be surprised if it's even less than what you're seeing right now, because nobody knows what it is and what it's going to be good for. But it won't be good for that thing until next year, a year and a half, 2 years later, because Google's not ready for this thing yet. The world is not ready to use this thing yet. It's going to be at least a year and a half before this thing starts to really get super traction. So there's plenty of time to buy this thing, is in my mind, in my opinion. So interested to see what happened to Reef. Well, hit my purple. So nice. But again, looking at it, the overall trend is still up. Nothing to get freaked out or wigged out about. The overall trend is still looking fine. So that's a ping, big time. Some of these seem a lot more violent than others. This is a good one to really talk about from a are we bullish or bearish standpoint. This one indicates to me, let's get all the garbage off here. This one indicates to me a very clear bullish sentiment, and here's the reason why. All of this support right here, it's touching off across the top, as you can see, where we smacked it, and we're working our way back up. So currently, let's put that back. Currently, what our issue is now we are sitting on top of all this support right here, but we're working under this resistance right here. So basically, that's our area of concern. So here we are currently. We have to work to get back up past that, and then outside of that channel, and then we can go above and beyond. And then, of course, obviously, we'll still have resistance right there. We always got resistance until we break out new. But generally speaking, we're inside of that trend there. Really, we need to break this right here at about $1.81 for Matic. And when we do, Matic could very well be a market indicator for you. If you want to watch the whole market and you just need to have a certain coin to watch, it's okay. When that one does, the rest of the market's going to do, if Matic does X, then the rest of the market's going to do Y. This would be a good one for you to watch. It's a very clear indicator of what's going on, because you can see the rules of the game and the inside of the grid are very well documented here. So I'll clear out some of this crap, by the way. It doesn't need to be in here anymore. Yeah, so basically what we're looking at here is you need to get past $1.81 on Matic. If we get past $1.81, then the rest of the market's going to be looking really good. And again, like I showed you on Shiba, the long-term prospects or the medium-term prospects for Shiba are looking very bullish. 80% or better bullish. Whew. Nearly 1 o'clock. It's almost noon. I think some of you guys were asking about Anchor. Well, there you go. So that was the opening move. That was the closing move. So there's that. That would have been, normally I would have considered that a sleeper, but this little whatchamajigger right here is kind of screwed things up a little bit. So let's watch this to see if the whole market is going to go up, then this indeed will go up too. We've definitely worked our way up to a new level. So this is now the new operating area. We've leveled up from here up to here. So basically, we have to just go back and this is now acting like a lot of resistance to this. So we've got to get up above this 200 EMA. Really, what we got to do is we got to get above this line right here at 13.2. When we get above 13.2, then we're off to the races. But at the very least, I'd like to see this back up in line with what's going on here. So. Let's see here. You know, for whatever reason, I don't know why it got dropped off, but Pancake is going to get put on Platinum Pro. I don't know why. Chase obviously was doing something and he overlooked it. He forgot my pancakes. So we'll add that to Platinum Pro here shortly. No, I didn't look up Algo. Thank you for reminding me of that. We will do that right now. If I can find the damn thing. Whew. Damn. Boy, I bet that gave everybody vertigo, huh? Wow. Oh, shit. That's crazy. All right, so again, here we are inside of this channel. We hit the channel. I mean, the thing came down and it banged off the bottom of the channel. Everything had its run down. So we did what we did, and so we literally, there's a little OCD wick came right down here, completed the move, bounced back up. We're getting a rounded bottom. We are still below 200 EMA. Things are looking on the mend a little bit for algo. You know, we're going to have some resistance here a little bit, but not a whole lot, because we're basically above that. Really, currently that's exactly where we're sitting, is below that. But once we pierce that, our next target is right there at that dual AI, which is resistance right there too. So once we get to this and then on and beyond, then we're good to go. It'll be a while, obviously. We have to go sideways before we can get real crazy on that. But my overall sentiment on this is it doesn't look like we're going to be going down any further, because basically we stayed within the constraints of the channel that has been going on for a very long time in an upward fashion. So just scaling out changes your feelings quite a bit, doesn't it? I mean, it's you know, when you're kind of micro look at this, you're just kind of going, Jesus God. But when you do this, yeah, we've been there, done that, right here. So, you know, it just hurts when you're not prepared for it and you're positioned kind of less well than you would like to be. But you know, we're cool. It's fine. All right, let's look at that real quick. And again, boom, right into the bucket. Right, no. So, actually, I actually, oh my God, spooky, huh? I actually squiggled that out and it followed the damn line. I swear these people are watching me. I swear they are. they're watching me to screw with me, or I don't know. But yeah, that was drawn when we were over here, and so here we go. We hit that, went down into the hole. So great. All right, so here again is another bullish perspective on this. We are across the top of this. And that's bots, kids. That is bots. Look at that thing. They want this. They're on a mission. They're sending this thing somewhere. It's got to match up. ISIS just redrew some lines here just now. But look at that. Look at that dragon. We're going into a triple. We're going up. Everything is looking up. The band is the bubble is expanding. Let me dial that in a little bit here for you. Some of these are darker than others. I don't understand why, but there we go. You can see flaring like crazy. Look at that. I mean, no denying what you're looking at. They're on a mission to put this thing somewhere. So this, and I don't know if some of you guys are registered because I can't see your faces, obviously. I want to really hammer this point home. When you see stuff like this, it's clear that they have an agenda in mind. You know, obviously they waterfall this. We've seen waterfall across market after market after market, or across, you know, coin after coin. Okay, fine. So, you know, basically if we're kind of putting chalk to this, this is what we're seeing. All right, so this thing is running somewhere. We might see, up like that, unlikely. What we might see is something like this, and then test back down before we finally take off in a W formation. There's lots of options there, but they very clearly are on a mission to send this thing somewhere. And so once it crosses the dual AI line, makes contact with this, and starts going up to the upward direction, the first resistance it's going to see is right there. And so this is where I want to see this thing touch off. If it runs up to this and then crests this and past it, then again, V-chain will be an indicator that we are indeed past the bad times, I guess you could say. But again, scaling out and looking at it, doesn't look that bad. Doesn't look that bad at all. You can see that we're maintaining a generally bullish perspective trend. Oh, believe me, there's woo-woo people that watch this channel. I busted a few of them. Spirit's talking. Like, sorry, I've never been referred to as spirit, but my calls end up on other people's woo-woo channels. There's an Australian gal that used to be in a rock band that fancies herself as psychic, and when she got caught, she's not psychic anymore. She don't talk very much anymore. I started throwing a few bad calls just to screw with her. When I realized she was copying me, that's when I started screwing with her. So I sent her a message and I said, knock it off because you're misleading people, and you're going to get them wrecked. And I said, if you don't knock it off, I'm going to start tracking. I'm going to start throwing bad calls just to make you look like a fool. And she didn't take me seriously, and I did. So she ended up wrecking a lot of people, and I didn't want to see those people get hurt, but she don't do that anymore. So. All right. So anyway. Yeah, that'd pretty much do it, guys. All right, so going to Vegas, 4 o'clock tomorrow. This has just been a crappy day. I mean, it just raining and leaves and just wet and cold and no sun. Never a better time to get the hell out of here. I'm already sick of winter, and winter hasn't even started yet. So anyway, guys, I will check in with you tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow or not, since I did this one, you guys that are watching the rebroadcast or whatever. Somebody had questioned why I made that one private that I did. And I know anything I say, I always have to repeat myself because there's always some people who don't get the message. So if you ever see a video that gets posted, that gets made private, there's a reason, because there was content on there that I'm chopping up and I'm going to use for monetization later on. So I don't want it out there for free anymore. If you happen to catch the live stream and got it for free, God bless you. That's what you're supposed to be doing. But if you see a live stream that goes private for whatever reason, should have been there. Should have got it while it was good, This offer expires, so this one will stay public, no problem. But yeah, just basically want to make sure everybody knows. So the one thing I want to make sure everybody understands is you guys are sending me customer service stuff. I'm not going to respond to you until Monday or Tuesday. So I don't want any people freaking out or whatever. So if you guys are going to do any kind of questioning on stuff like that, you can send a message, but you better be patient because it's not going to start getting answered until probably Tuesday. If you have any questions for anything regarding Discord, I'm not your guy anyway. You want to be talking to Sato at SATO. That's our guy, and he will be doing charts and stuff like that, like he did very, very well for us while I was away at the birthday party a couple weeks ago. So all right, guys, that's it. So until next time, be safe, be good, and be good at it. Peace and hair grease, baby.